Hi everyone. Now we are going to discuss about one of the most important topic in biomedical instrumentation. It is named as electroencephalogram. In short, it is mentioned as EEG. The electroencephalogram is a technique of recording the electrical activity of a human brain. So electroencephalography is highly useful to determine the activity of brain, otherwise to verify the disorders in brain. So this activity is majorly worked with the small electrodes placed over the skull. So scalp is the very thin skin layer that is available over the skull of our head. So the brain signals are picked up by the electrodes and to be sent to the machine be named as electroencephalogram. So this equipment collects all the signals and produce the output that will be sent to the computer or a mixer, by means that it will be viewed through computer screen or a paper recorder in order of microvolt. So EEG has high temporal resolution and low spatial resolution. So it is most cheap while compared with any other type of neuroimaging techniques. So EEG is highly useful to detect brain diseases, otherwise brain disorders. Even the announcement of brain death is confirmed with EEG measurements only. Regarding history of electroencephalography, the studies started in the year of 1875 with the result published by Richard Carton regarding the cerebral hemisphere activities of rabbits and monkeys in British Medical Journal. By following this research in 1890s from Poland, the physiologist Adolf Bilk published an investigation of spontaneous electrical activity of the brain of rabbits and dogs, which produces a rhythmic oscillations by applying of light energy. And then by 1912, Ukraine physiologist Vladimir and Neminki published the first animal EEG and evoked potentials of mammalian. So mammalian means we have a chance of an example of dog. By following up that results in 1914, Napoleon and Zelenska photographed EEG recordings of experimentally induced seizures in animals. By following up these research, German physiologist and psychiatrist Hans Berger has recorded the first human electroencephalogram and invented the term electroencephalography or electroencephalogram in the year of 1924. He recorded a frequency of 10 Hz represented as alpha waves. So by following of Hans Berger, plenty of studies are came on analyzing the work function of the human brain, and it was reported as alpha waves, beta waves, theta waves and delta waves, sometimes peaks, sometimes epilepsy, like that. So that for analyzing a global conditions, an American EEG society is formed in the year of 1947. So by following of all these researches, it was noticed that the activity of human brains are even in rhythm. You just notice on the left side the first man-made EEG equipment done by Hans Berger, whereas now the technology is developed, we are having modernized EEG that is also shown on your right side. Regarding the electrical activity of human brain, we must know about the parts of the brain. We already known well our brain have three major parts. One is brain stem and cerebellum and then cerebellum. So you just notice here brain stem is a connecting area, whereas cerebellum is a connector. So from the nerves it is connected on cerebellum, and then cerebellum have four parts regarding. First one is front lobe, parietal lobe, then temporal lobe and finally occipital lobe. So each and every part of the brain have its own individual functions. And regarding source of electrical activity of human brains, it is done by neurons. So neurons are electrically charged by membrane transport proteins that pumps ions across the membranes. So each and every neuron, so you know well, we have billions of neurons on our brain, which plays a major role on thinking and activity of the humans. So when the waves of ions reaches the electrode on the skull, so our skull is the outermost layer of the head, they push or pull the electrons with respect to the amount of energy produced by a combination of neurons. So push or pull difference measured as per the voltage across the electrodes. So this is the real activity happening in the brain with respect to the activity of humans. So each single neutron have its own activity, but it producing a very small amount of voltage. So EEG reflects the summation of synchronous activity of many neurons with the similar spatial orientations. So cortical pyramidal neurons by means of outer layered neurons produces most of the EEG signals, whereas deep sources we name as subcortical areas are much more difficult to detect the currents than the neurons available near to the skull. So this diagram shows how the neurons are collectively, the voltage produced by neurons are collectively approached by the microelectrodes. So the maximum of 3 millimeter is the depth of neurons energies are collected by the microelectrodes. Now we are going to discuss about what are the components required for electroencephalography. The first important requirement for this EEG is electrodes. So EEG is a primary source for producing the electrical activity of brain. So electrodes is a small metal disc that normally made up of stainless steel, tin, gold or silver covered with silver chloride coating, so by which it should be very good conducting in nature. And regarding the position of electrodes, how we are keeping the positions, because you know well our brain is classified with 4 parts: front lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe and then occipital lobe. So with respect to the position of with respect to the activity of all these 4 lobes, the voltage will be produced. So globally it is accepted with 10-20 system. We say about international 10-20 system by means that just notice the diagram on right side. So 10% is the distance between these 2 points and then 20% between these 2 points, like that. So you just make the distance between the plates like that order. So on your left side it represented with the position of the electrodes. On your left side it is of odd number, whereas on right side is an even number. Whereas at center we have FZ, CZ and PZ, which representing the electrodes at the midline. So once you make the perfect position of all these electrodes, you will get the better activity of the better activity of our brain. So regarding the electrode placements, we have 2 options. Either we can make position of each and every electrode separately over the skull, or otherwise we have a special headbands are available with connected with the electrode, so that may be pasted over the head. So these are the 2 options how we collect the electrode. And the second important requirement is amplifier. We already known well the signals produced by neurons are very minimum, so in microvolt order. So we must need to improve the strength of the signal. For that we need an amplifier. So basically this amplifier is connected with high pass and low pass filters to improve the quality of the signals what we are received. So earlier we have individual connectivity is there with respect to each electrodes, but now we are using with the USB port by means that the signals are easily transmitted through the computer. So third important part is filters. So we already known well the signals what we are getting is more noisy. To eliminate the noise we need of filters. Basically the signals produced by the neurons are in the order of to the maximum of 100 Hz. So we are need of filters to clean the signals in the range of 0 to 50 Hz to the maximum. So we need a low pass or high pass filters to clean up the noises and then to produce the exact EEG tracing. So we are working with filtering and smoothing of the input signal which is received from the skull. And fourth important compound requirement is a writing unit, and earlier it is writing unit, but now we have a digital screen in the modernized EEG, so which gives a recording of the brain waves. So with respect to these requirements, the schematic of EEG machine is given here. So the first part is electrodes. So that electrodes are connected in a jack box. So it's a common connector that is given with an amplifier. So before you are going with amplifier, you must verify the position of electrode by electrode test and calibration. And then we have next option, electrode mounted charter. So we just verify the signals by individual part of the brain. So once it is confirmed, and then we are connecting with amplifiers. So the amplifiers amplify the signal, and then it is allowed with the filters. So we have an option with respect to the condition of the input waves. We are working with either high pass or low pass or notch filters, and then we are going with the next option of filtering. That's why we say about sensitivity measurements. By using of this one, we are getting the very clean activity of human brain alone. So that will be traced either by a common mechanism of to be naming as analog to digital converter, either we are using up an oscilloscope or a normal computer. So otherwise, on earlier we used writer unit. So a chart drive with ink writing oscilloscope is used. So at last we got the output of the brain waves or activity of the human brain. So by connecting up all this one, so the mechanism is very simple. For EEG, the billions of nerve cells in the brain produces a very small electrical signals from the that form the patterns of brain waves. So small electrodes and wires are attached on patient's head. So the electrode detects the patient's brain waves, and the EEG machine amplifies the signal and record them in a wave pattern and given on a graph paper or a computer screen. So this one is the mechanism of EEG. If we are saying about we are having an output pattern, so that pattern is named as EEG waveforms. So EEG encephalogram waveforms. So we are generally having, for a normal human people, we have 4 types of brain waves are possible. One is alpha waves, beta waves, theta waves and delta waves. You just notice what are the difference of frequency. If a person is active, then the brain waves what we are getting from the output is beta waves of the range of 13 to 30 Hz, whereas for alpha waves it is from occipital area, so it is of 18 to 13 Hz, whereas theta waves where we have a frequency range of 4 to 8 Hz, it is mostly available to be noticed in children and sleeping adults. Sometimes if a person in depressed condition or in frustration, whereas delta waves are to be get with a frequency range of 0.5 to the maximum of 4 Hz. It is happen at brain waves are received from a patient or a person is deep sleep. Especially you can see this type of waves from the infants. Sometimes we have some concept of peaks are coming, or it may be due to mentally disordered positions. So any mental disorder positions or there is a brain disorder, we have a chance of variation of patterns are available that to be verified with a normal people. So regarding the individual characteristics of waves, the first one is alpha wave. So the alpha waves are found in normal persons either in resting state or they are awake. These waves are occur in occipital region, frequency of 8 to 13 Hz to be observed. So alpha waves are present and indicate that the person is calm and relaxed state. If you go for the second one, beta waves, which is recorded from the partial and frontal lobe region of the skull. These are divided into 2 cases. First one is beta 1, which is inhibited by cerebral activity of the brain, whereas beta 2 waves are excited by mental activity like tension. So beta waves are having frequencies from 13 Hz to maximum of 30 Hz. Beta waves indicates that the subject is alert, such as focusing on solving a problem, or he is on deep thinking with a very good brain activities. If you go for the third one, theta waves. Theta waves are recorded from temporal region of the skull, maximum from the children's. This state represents a person in stress or frustration if it is an adult. The theta waves are having frequency 4 to 8 Hz, and then theta waves are observed when you are in daydreaming also. Brain disorders or some other issues may lead with theta waves. Especially to evoke theta waves, you must ask with a question of emotional thinking of a patient or a subject. If you are going to go for the fourth type of EEG wave is delta waves. So delta waves are recorded from cortex region. So they occur in deep sleep condition or in premature babies, sometimes in brain diseases people also. So brain wave, delta waves are frequencies 0.5 to a maximum of 4 Hz. Either delta waves are observed either in daydreaming conditions or otherwise in dizziness also or drowsiness also. So the details of the waveforms are given here. You just make note of it. And it is mentioned with what about the amplitude of output also. You just notice that beta waves is for adult in mental activity in frontal region, the output of voltage will be 20. Whereas if you go for alpha waves, a person in rest positions, eyes are closed or suddenly awake, from the occipital region, the output voltage from 50 to 100 microvolt. Whereas for theta and delta waves, the amplitude of the output will be more than 50 microvolt. So you just notice about the normal adult brain activity. So a person with awake with mental activity, it is a possibility of beta waves, whereas awake and resting it is alpha. If a person is in sleeping, then theta waves. If a person go for deep sleep, you have a chance of getting delta waves. So these are the other conditions what we are getting from EEG with respect to the condition of the patient. So to get an EEG, we have to go for a procedure because we need to analyze the activity of the brain. So for that we are using of audio and visual stimulus. So an audio and visual stimulus are applied with the patient, then we are just inducing the activity of the brain. So that activity is analyzed through the electroencephalography. So you just note in all other things are common. Say a patient is connected with the EEG electrodes, and then once he is exposed with the audiovisual stimulus, we have a brain activity that is picked up by the electrodes and to be given as an input signal that is processed here by using of amplifiers and then classifiers. Then we get the output is given with the monitor. So by using of the signals what we received with respect to the audiovisual stimulus, we are just analyzing the activity, the clear brain activity of the patient or subject. So normally EEG cells are analyzed with respect to normal and abnormal persons. If you go with what are the important advantages of EEG, so the hardware costs are significantly lower than any other technique or any other techniques is related to neuroimaging. So EEG has very high temporal resolution of the order of milliseconds rather than seconds, and extremely non-invasive method, and EEG is silent, which allows better study for responses to auditory stimuli. It does not require with any more exposure of magnetic fields. So these are the advantages, and drawbacks are low spatial resolution on the skull. So you must be very cautious regarding the signals is received from the skull or from the electrodes, and EEG determines neural activity that occur below the upper layers of the brain. It's very poor, often takes a long time to connect to a subject to EEG. That's most important, because we should make a proper stimuli to get the signals, and signal to noise ratio is very poor. So these are the drawbacks of EEG. If you are going with what are the important uses of EEG, so we have three options. The first one is clinical use, and the next one is research use, and third one is other uses. So regarding clinical use, we say that distinguishing the case of epileptic seizures by means of inducers from non-epileptic seizures, and then how the people are having issues with respect to subcortical movements in disorders, to serve as an adjacent test to brain dead. It is already mentioned, if a person is announced with brain dead, that he had to be verified with brain activity by using of EEG. So determine whether the use of anti-epileptic medication or not. So whenever you are saying about an issue of epilepsy is a disease, so that to be cured by medication means then you have to verify whenever you are applying with the anti-epileptic medications, is the activity is improved or not. So for that we are using of EEG alone. And regarding the research purpose, we have a word cognitive science is nothing but to study of thought, learning and mental organization. We are using with EEG alone for the verification of cognitive psychology, neurolinguistics and psychophysiological research purposes. If you are saying with the third options, what are the general uses of EEG? The first one is investigation of epilepsy and locate seizure origin. So where you have to apply the similar. The next one is monitoring of cognitive engagement by means of we are verifying alpha rhythm. The third one is monitoring human and animal brain development, and then testing of epilepsy drug effects and testing afferent pathways by evoked potentials to investigate sleep disorders and physiology. And the most important use of EEG is to verify or analyzing of how to control anesthesia depth. It's the most important area of use of EEG. So these are the future scope of EEG. We just go through it regarding neuro headset, telepathic helmets and portable EEG equipment which is connected with your mobile phone. I think you understand this topic well. We will meet you soon with the next talk. Thank you.